Welcome to Problems Getting White Lightning to Run on an Emulator, Part 2. That's a horrible title, but I'm going to stick with it. So I'm trying to get White Lightning to run on an emulator for right now, and the reason being is I just want to get things set up so that when my Ultimate Elite 64 gets here, I can move some of these ROMs over there and actually develop 100% in the box. But I'm consistently running into problems with the way that Vice handles stuff sometimes. I mean, it's not perfect, but these old discs and everything else just seem to have these little quirks when it's time to get them to run on an emulator. And I showed you one last time about how to get the fourth auto flushing set up so that you can actually work and not lose all your source code. And today I'm going to show you how to get a utility called the Sprite generator to actually function properly inside the emulator. And by default, it seems like it works just fine until you go to actually do editing and you realize none of the keyboard input's working, and it's actually a really simple fix for this, but let me show you anyway. So I'm going to go to Smart Attach, and I'm going to go ahead and attach our mounted disk here. And what I want to do is I'm just going to real quickly show you what's on the official distribution. I think I showed you this last time because we used the format command. But we need two things in order to run the Sprite generator. One is we need basic Lightning, which just happens to be on this disk. It's the other language supported. And then we need this program called SPTGEN, which is the Sprite generator. So in order to get this to work, we're going to need to load basic Lightning first. I'll never get used to how the keyboard is different. And then we just need to load the Sprite generator because it's a basic program as well. One of the first things we want to do when we boot this, if you ever plan to escape out of it, I don't know why this thing entraps you, but right here, line 2, this disables the escape key from working. And we're going to take that crap out because that's annoying, especially when you get stuck in there and none of the keys work. So now we can just run it. So the initial problem you're going to have when you come in here is, let's go ahead and do a cold start, is you're going to start reading the manual now, and it's going to say, okay, well, in order to edit anything, first we have to swap modes. So the Sprite generator has 5 modes. They each do something different. That's a tutorial for another day. But mode 0 does nothing. It's just sitting there. If you want to edit like a normal 2-color sprite, you need to go to mode 1. And they tell you to hold down the control key and press 1. Doesn't do anything. So they say, okay, well, to turn the attributes on, just hold down A. Doesn't do anything. So it doesn't take but a few minutes for you to realize, well, in my case, like 5 minutes because I'm an idiot, that none of the keyboard input is actually working. It's not that you're entering the wrong keys or you don't know where the command key is, or the Commodore key in this case. It's that none of the keys are working. And the real simple fix for this, which took me forever because I didn't bother to learn any of this before I started, is that the keyboard mapping needs to be changed from symbolic to positional for this app to work. Then once you do that, a control 1 will change mode 1. You can see it changing here. Mode 2. Don't make me a liar. Oh, you got to go back to 0, by the way, before you can go to another mode. Here we go. So mode 2, of course, you'll recognize now is multi-channel sprite mode. And then we can go back to 0. We can go back to 1. We can turn the attributes on, right? All this stuff works, and that's really all it was. And because we disabled that line 2, we're now able to hit the escape key and get the hell out of here. Even though what color you get will be completely random. And yeah, there's the whole Sprite generator written in BASIC in case you want to, oh man, that's awful, in case you want to hack it. And that's really what there is to it. So anyway, that's all that was wrong with it. It was just the keyboard just needing to be in positional. And you may have noticed something interesting about this is that's an 8x8 square, and then you really need 24x21 to create a hardware sprite, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. This area over on the right is the high-res area, and the area on the left is the sprite area, so you build these things incrementally, and you can make the square as big as you want before you decide to give it a sprite number or assign it. So I don't know. This editor's was even complicated to work with, and as a kid I just gave up. You know, I just did text and I drew everything using plots because that was it. It seemed easier to go in the White Lightning and create a sprite area and then draw on it and then move that than it was to try to do this. But I'm going to learn it. We're going to figure it out. It can't be that hard, but it's a long way from being Sprite Mate, which is It's a godsend when you're working with assembler or CC65. But okay, so anyway, that's that problem. I'm going to go back to work and check my Slack messages, which is what I'm supposed to be doing later.